Hi everyone, it's Zorine Te from Yahoo Esports. Joining me in the studio today is NuckleDu. Thank you so much for your time today, NuckleDu.
Oh, my pleasure.
Now, you know, this year you're coming up after winning Capcom Cup last year. How has that changed your outlook going into 2017?
If anything, it made me feel a little complacent because I feel like winning all those events, it happened too soon. Like if it was spread out, maybe it will help me more as a player. But since it happened so soon, all the players are after me now, and it's not a good feeling. So yeah, I feel like I have a huge target on my back, and everyone is trying to study me, and I can't keep up. So I had to work twice as hard than I did last year, surprisingly.
Yeah. And how do you deal with all that pressure? I mean, that seems like a lot.
Well, maybe that's why I teabag, because I'm just so pressured that that's how I hide my true feelings. It's hard because like I've never been on the top before, so being up here, I don't know how to deal with it. Like I tried to study infiltration. He was on the top. Then he had his downfall, Momochi as well, and I'm just trying to figure out where they went wrong. And it's just an ongoing process of how I should go about things. So I'm still trying to learn it. Yeah.
And it seems like you're traveling a lot this year as well, like so far, I guess, compared to if you were to look at yourself this time last year. I mean, do you feel like how has that changed your lifestyle up?
Ever since I won Capcom Cup, I've been getting invites from, I think, every region. Like I got invited to Middle East. I actually got invited to South Africa. I didn't even know there was a community down there. But yeah, and it's really cool to know that people want me at their events and they're willing to pay for travel and everything. And I've never thought a day in my life where I would decline an event, a full paid trip just to go somewhere. But that just shows how much events there is. And it's really cool. Like, you know, a lot more people notice me in public, like even in Florida, where that's where all the old people retire. I didn't think, you know, people knew esports in Florida, but yeah, like, it's overwhelming. That's a good word, I think. It's hard to keep up with, and it's just happening really fast. And I'm grateful. You know, I'm not complaining. So.
I mean, it seems like a lot of that is tied into the FGC growing as well, right? I mean, recently you went to Turner's ELeague and like you're competing in it still. What was that like, going into an event that's sort of so like high production and so polished compared to FGC, which like you've mentioned before, is so grassroots?
Yeah, ELeague was like super nice. Like it was really professional. The production value was just nothing I've ever seen before. And they really treat us really good. So to go from a tournament and from a local events to ELeague, it was like a cool realization where the FGC is heading. And you know, I'm in it for the long haul. I just cannot wait to see what's after ELeague, because I think it's just going to keep going up from this point on.
Yeah. Although, you know, a lot of people were saying at the same time, just to play devil's advocate, they're like, oh, you know, FGC isn't esports, or like they reject the whole like esports thing. What do you think about that?
People are scared of esports because they're scared of rules and like they're scared of losing what the FGC is so special, and it's the rivalries, the trash talking. But ELeague showed that they are completely fine with it and they actually encourage it. You know, so the only thing they should be worried about is not having esports, actually, because I think esports is the thing that's going to keep us going. Because you know, grassroots can only take you so far, especially in this time and age. So yeah, I don't think they should be worried at all. I think they should support esports because it's helping the players, and the players are what keeps the game alive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Definitely. And watching that tournament, there's a key defining moment for me, right, where I was like, okay, we're cool, like this is going to be fine, which is when like K-Brad was playing against Wolfcrone, and you yourself posted a photo of like a security guard on the stage, and some people were like, oh, this is going too far, you know, like I can't believe they did this, it makes the FGC look bad. What did you think about that? Oh,
I personally loved it, you know. Like, I'm not an instigator or anything, but you know, everyone knows Wolfcrone and K-Brad, they have outside problems like that. You know, it's not just in the game anymore. So to see the police officer he had a gun and everything. It's not just a security officer. Yeah, so it was a police officer. He was just there, and it was cool that ELeague acknowledged the storyline. You know, so that's how I saw it. I didn't see it as ELeague instigating or anything. I think it was them supporting what the FGC is about. You know, not everyone's gonna like each other, and there's gonna be rivalries, and you know, ELeague supports that, so that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Now you mentioned also, I guess, the whole FGC growing and esports as well is growing. How does it feel for you where, you know, pro players, they came from a place where you're literally just, you're focusing on the game and you're playing the game. But now you're also like, you're in the public eye and you're focusing, like you have to concentrate on your brand, like your presence on social media and streaming for some players as well. How do you feel about all that?
So yeah, like 5 years ago, I could just post anything on Twitter, like saying stupid stuff. But now I can't, you know. And there are some like, I thought about making a fake Twitter account just so I could post all the dumb stuff I want to say. But it's not, I think esports is helping me contain my immaturity, I guess. Because it's helping, like, it's making me more mature than for my age, I feel. Because people my age, I feel, are still trying to find themselves and are saying really stupid stuff. But esports is helping me contain that. And okay, I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
That's all right. So
I was trying to work around it, but I was like, wait a minute, what she said?
That's right. I mean, like, we can rephrase it. So, okay. How do you feel about your, I guess, parts of your personal life now being in the public eye?
Okay, that's much better. Yeah, so like whenever I go to like the airport or even Walmart, like people will notice me, and that's really flattering. That's cool. But sometimes I don't look my best. I'll be wearing pajamas, slides, and someone asked me to take a picture. And I was like, oh, crap. Really? You sure you want one? And it's cool, but sometimes you're just not ready for it. And I think the worst experience was like, it was recently, South by Southwest, where this girl was just following me everywhere. Like, after the tournament, I would go to the restaurant, and she would just be outside looking at me. And I thought I was crazy, but you know, everyone else noticed too. I went back to my hotel room, and she was still following me. And I was like, yeah, this is getting kind of creepy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there are some bad things that come with it, but it's mainly good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
that's I don't know how you
creepy,
even deal with that. A side note on that, I remember once, like, I was standing outside an event, like, I was starving. I'd worked the whole day, and I was like eating this pastry, and like I was just like, you know, like slamming it down, and there was like crumbs all over me. And this group of guys approached me, and they're like, "Hey, are you Zorine?" And I was like, "Ah, like
oh,
you really have to catch me at this point in time."
Yeah,
it was awful.
It's always the worst timing.
Yeah. Some people are saying that Street Fighter V is like a young person's game with, you know, a new generation of players coming in as well. What do you think about that?
I think it's pretty cool actually, because when they say young players game, it means that commitment is really important. So when you commit to a button, people who had years of experience with Street Fighter, they usually wouldn't do it because it's risky. But the young players, they don't understand, you know, the past experience of what could happen. You know, they don't understand the hardships, so they just do it. And that's why I think the young players are so successful right now. And it's pretty cool, you know, because it's like a nice shift, because all these times, like, the Japanese players, much older, have always been dominating. But now they have to adapt to something different, and it seems like the younger players have the edge on that. So I really like it. I support it. Yeah.
So comparing your lifestyle now back to how you were maybe like 2 years ago, what would you say has changed the most?
I think the way I eat, that changed the most. Like, back then, I would eat TV dinners every day. It was awful. I mean, I wasn't complaining. I liked it. You know, Hot Pockets, the fake steak, the Salisbury steak, that was disgusting now that I think about it. But yeah, I had that every day. So 3 times a day, that was my meal. Now I get to eat more healthy. You know, my belly is showing, so that's kind of good, right? But yeah, I eat a lot more healthier now. My dogs, I get them better dog food.
Oh.
Because back then, I gave them dog chow. Not to talk down on that, but it's not healthy compared to what I could get them now. So yeah, eating is better. I'm less stressed about money. You know, and I can help out my family, because you know my family's always been poor. So being able to help out with that, it's really cool. So yeah, like financially. Like, yeah, that was the biggest change, which was being able to help everyone out, help myself out. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
For you.
Thank you.
Now, moving more into game-related questions. So Capcom has, released Season 2 for Street Fighter V now. What do you think about how they're approaching changing and updating the game?
I think them having the second patch of this year, it kind of shows that they do want to make things right and that they're listening and they're receiving feedback. Because last year, there was a lot of problems, but they didn't really address it. They changed it once. Then now this year, there's also a few problems. And then now they addressed it, and then they're gonna fix it immediately. So that's pretty cool that they're acknowledging the problems instead of just masking it with DLC costumes and stuff. So they're on the right path. Yeah.
And speaking of DLC, I heard a rumor that you don't really download DLC much, you have problems with DLC characters even sometimes. Like Colin, for example. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so like, I'll try a DLC character, but most likely I won't like him. But there's this one character in particular I would never buy. His name is Alex. I think he is one of the worst characters in the game, and I thoroughly expressed that on Twitter. And I was like, hey, this character sucks. I don't have to buy him to study him. So that's pretty much what it was. Yeah. So all the Alex players just attacked me. Like, that's fine. He sucks.
Not even to learn him?
I don't need to. It's okay. It's fine.
Burn.
Yeah.
I mean, it is kind of like strange to me. For example, like Xian recently picked up Ibuki, after Fang got shot to the ground. It's crazy to me that Capcom, like these updates basically make or break like a player's career or how they play. That to me stands out the most. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that you spend a whole year studying a character, learning all their matchups, then because of certain people who complain about that character, Capcom decides to do something about it and nerf them, and then all that person's work, he has nothing to show for it. So that's really disheartening, and that makes you not want to play the game. But I feel like Capcom should just, instead of making weaker characters, they should make everyone just as strong so they could compete with each other. Therefore, like, if there's someone super strong, there'll always be another character that can contest. Because if you make someone weaker, it's not doing anyone good, honestly. So I think that's just my piece.
What are you looking forward to in the new characters?
I want to see like new stuff. Like Colin was pretty cool. She's new. She brings new mechanics, and Fang's pretty interesting too. So as long as they keep bringing new technical characters, it's gonna keep things interesting. Yeah.
Do you want to see the game get more technical?
Oh, of course. Yeah. You don't want. Right now, it's pretty bare bones. Colin's mixing everything up, but if they can make the game more technical, more, I don't want to say like, more chess-like. Right now it's kind of like if you get hit once, you die. But if they made it to where if you get hit once, then you start over neutral, that'd be a lot better. So.
Yeah. Now we touched upon this a little bit before, the teabagging thing. It seems like it's kind of catching on in the rest of the scene. What do you think about that?
I mean, it was cool at first. I was honored to see people teabag. I was like, oh, that's cool. He's acknowledging my work. But everyone's doing it. I saw Daigo do it. I'm like, what? You've never done that before. And it's just losing its effect. It's so, like, at first it started as a mind game, but people misinterpret it as, oh, NuckleDu is disrespecting an opponent. But really, I was in Shell High's head. I could tell him to do whatever I wanted him to do. So it was mainly a mind game, or it was to get the crowd hype and be on my side. But now it's everywhere. It's like a falling trend. It's sad to see. So yeah.
Are you going to come up with something new instead then?
I don't know. Maybe like a super slow TV. I don't know what I could do at this point. I gotta be super creative. I'll figure it out.
Okay. So I wanted to get your thoughts on rivalries. What do you think is the best way to handle rivalries in the FGC now that we're becoming more like esports?
I think maybe the guy in the back of the studio should be faster with the censor button. Maybe just a little bit faster. But besides that, like, you can't really change that. That's what the FGC is about. That's organic. You can't mask any of that. So if the esports wants to accept the FGC for what it is, you're going to have rivalries. But the curse words, I feel like, you know, the guy in the back could do something about that. But other than that, you know, that's what the FGC is about, you know, rivalries.
Yeah, it's PH. Well, did you have anything that you wanted to say to your fans out there who are watching?
Yeah, so shout out to all the people who've been supporting me ever since the beginning, where I wasn't even good. Always appreciate that. Shout out to Team Liquid for always being behind me. You know, always appreciate them as well. And yeah, thank you for this interview. Appreciate it.
No worries. Thanks for your time today, NuckleDu. Really appreciate it. And for more pro Street Fighter coverage, be sure to keep it right here on Yahoo Esports. Awesome, we're done.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thanks
thank
for coming in.
Yes,